a lot of question marks on how the roster is going to shake up with Jonathan Aranda.
Look,
When he
I
comes
don't even want to have a conversation about Jonathan Aranda because I kind of like what Rosario is doing, and I really like what Palacios is doing at second base because he made plays over the course of the weekend.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every single day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. All right, well, the Tampa Bay Rays couldn't keep the magic going as they lose the series over the weekend to the Bronx Bombers. They took one game out of 3 and are 20-21 on the year, while the Yankees are 27-15. Ulises, you were at the game on Sunday, Mother's Day, and unfortunately, you, your mom, and your sister couldn't bring enough magic for the Rays to pull out the W.
Not enough magic. It was a tough game in the beginning with Heel just carving up Rays hitters, man. It was crazy to see, and then Aaron Judge and everybody else was hitting just hard hit balls from Tyler Alexander. It was rough in the beginning, especially now you get down 6-0. So I think we should have like a Kevin Cash quote segment on the show because there was a good quote that came out from the post-game conference. He says, "I got to give Tyler credit. He was able to be efficient enough to get us deep in the ball game. I know the game changed, but 6-0, we could have had to blown through our bullpen, but he stayed at it. I give him credit because he competed." I'd like to take that apart a little bit.
Yeah, for context, Tyler Alexander pitched 7 innings, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 homers, more or less batting practice with that cutter middle of his, while Luis Gil was the antithesis of that, tossing 6 scoreless innings, basically almost exclusively using his fastball and changeup. That's really all he needed. I know he squeezed in a couple other pitches there, but it was quite the dichotomy between Gil and Alexander, which we more or less said entering this season, the pitching matchups were going to be tough for the Rays.
Yeah, and they ultimately were. But thank you for the compare and contrast there, because look, I know you're a manager and you have to protect your guys, but you can also use better wording. He competed. That's not I don't think you can say 6 earned runs in 7 innings, allowing 3 bombs is competing. Like,
that's clunker territory.
Words have to mean something, folks. It's 2024. I know, but like competing, that's not exactly competing, is it? And you know what? I am fairly certain that if you tell Tyler Alexander, "Hey, did you compete today?" He could possibly tell you, "I don't think I did, man.
No.
I don't think I did."
Yeah, but I got through 7 innings. That's really all Kevin Cash should have said was he pitched deep into the game. That's true.
He saved us the bullpen. Thank you so much. Now,
is he effective or efficient or admirable? No.
No, exactly. Now, my question is, why did you have to get him to save your bullpen? Because you didn't have to do that. I mean, the quotes at the end of the game, he didn't say that people were unavailable. He didn't say people were tired. He didn't say people were sick, that he couldn't use them. So what was the reason that you wanted to save them? Like, I know the road trip's coming up, but when you have a game that ultimately got to be 6-4, I just really dislike the just throwing away of games with plenty of games with plenty of at bats left in the game, because this is what I don't like. We can say it's May, Kevin. There's plenty of baseball left. They're 20-21. They can still be a playoff team, 100%, because there's enough baseball game left and enough baseball season left. Within the game, in the fourth inning, fifth inning, there's still plenty of ball to play within that game. You can still come back. So, they've done their math. Apparently, saving the bullpen is way more beneficial, and losing 10-6 or whatever it is, and getting clunkered out of Tropicana Field is a better math than trying to win that game.
Yeah. With what happened on Sunday, I guess my question to you would be, at what point do you take Alexander out of the game? Is it top of the fourth after he gives up that home run to Trevino, making it 4-0? Do you take him out after the fifth, after Aaron Judge hit the 2-run Oppo homer to make it 6-0? Do you start making a move as early as the third inning where Jahmai Jones hits his first major league homer? Where's the point of making that maneuver there?
I guess, if you take him out after the fifth, the damage is done. You've got 6 runs on the board.
Right.
He didn't get hit in the 6th or 7th. So that, I understand that 2 extra innings could have saved the bullpen, but I think I'm more disappointed that there was never anybody warming up. Like I tell you, like I went to the game, so there was nobody warming up. There was nobody warming up at all. The first guy that was up there was Erasmo Ramirez.
Yeah, so basically, if you got your wish of Alexander being taken out, Cash probably would have thrown in Ramirez. And that's the sign of, we really don't have any ideations of trying to win this ball game. It's waving the white flag at that point.
Exactly. So no, ultimately it was Armstrong that came in before, but Erasmo was the first guy up in the bullpen. So it's just, that's what bothered me the most, is like these hits, these home runs, hard hits are happening. Like, are we not in the statistical analytical age where, like, if a guy's getting hit hard, hey, maybe he doesn't have his best stuff? He was getting hit hard from the get-go. I mean, do we not remember that Aaron Judge liner, that rope to left field? Like, that was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be probably a rough day when top of the first, Volpe starts the thing with a leadoff triple, and then Soto gets him in with the sac fly. Like, that's about the quickest turnaround of getting on the board there.
Yeah, and it just got worse. So just that's my biggest pet peeve on Sunday's game, that the lack of wanting to go for it. I just don't understand that. Again, they've made their math. They think that this is the best way to survive a 162 season, and it seems like they do have that math well done. It's just frustrating as a fan to just go to a game and know that Kevin Cash has just either, it looks like he's asleep at the wheel, but he's not. He's just decided, him in the front office, that this math doesn't make sense to go after a game, which is really frustrating for fans that have gone to a game, because then you're just telling them, no, we're not going for it. Like, you're literally telling the 20,000 people that have gone to the game, I'm not going for this. I'm not going for the W. I'm sorry that you've chosen to come here to be entertained. We're not really going to entertain you, because I really need to save my bullpen, and I need Tyler Alexander to go 7 innings, and then I'm going to put Erasmo Ramirez.
Let's tell you about Policy Genius. Policy Genius helps you compare your options from top companies, and their team of licensed experts is on hand to help you talk through it. Talk to a team of award-winning agents who will walk you through the process step by step. Easily compare quotes from America's top insurers. It's just a few clicks to find your lowest price as well. Did you know your work-life insurance policy may not have enough protection for your family's needs? Even worse, it may not come with you if you leave your job. That is why you need Policy Genius. It gives you unbiased advice from a licensed expert support team. Plus, they have no incentive to recommend one insurer over another, so you can trust their guidance. So go ahead, do it. Check life insurance off your to-do list in no time with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/LockedOnMLB, LOCKEDONMLB, or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. So good, I'll repeat it again. That's policygenius.com/LockedOnMLB, LOCKEDONMLB. Yeah. And I get maybe the thinking is just looking at the schedule real quick. They are going up north for a trip to Boston. In Toronto, I think they have 2 off days the rest of the month. So maybe it's trying to be somewhat forward looking. But I got to tell you what, it's really disappointing when I thought after what transpired in the 7th inning, and I'm not blaming Shawn Armstrong or anything, but I really thought that the Rays were going to pull it out.
Yeah.
When after that crazy 7th inning where Siri finally does something for the team, getting a grand slam, and then a series of walks and hit by pitches and other scenarios. I mean, Paredes hit by pitch, which thankfully he's not majorly hurt, makes it 6-5. At that point, I was like, the Rays have to win this game. Coming down, you're down 6-0. You make it 6-5. Like, that should be your ball game at home. I mean, the sequence, I don't know. That might have been one of the crazier half innings that I can remember as a baseball and or Rays fan, especially being down 6-0. You have a single, a strikeout, a walk, or a single, a strikeout, a double, a walk, a grand slam, a walk, a hit by pitch, then a line out and ground out.
It was insane too, like watching in real time happening, like in the stadium, like it just got louder and louder and louder, and like people are like, well, you know, the Isak, thank God he's okay. I as you can see, I might have yelled a little bit yesterday.
Oh yeah,
with my voice, and that's the one that got me. Like the Yankee pitchers hitting twice, Rays hitters, and then we're just gonna take it because you know the Rays are nice, so we don't do things. I know it does, you know, a guy in the post game for the radio show called in and said, like, you know, why do we always make excuses for the Yankees? And, you know, Chris on the post game goes, well, you know, they don't really want to hit anybody there. It's just, you know, which again, that's a logical thing to say, Chris. Love what you have to say. That's a very logical thing to say. Humans are not logical. Why would he hit him there? Because he wants to, Chris. Because he wants to. And I know, like, it doesn't make baseball sense, but people are irrational. Okay, people are not always logical. And even if they're on the mound and they've been told for 20 years, hey, this is a good moment where you don't hit somebody, they end up doing it anyway. Okay, so like you can't just tell me like, oh, well, it doesn't make sense there. I'm sorry, humans don't work that way. But it was a really entertaining game to be there, regardless of the outcome. Shout out to a friend from the Trop who made Mother's Day incredibly special for me, my mom, my sister. The hospitality was out of this world, incredible, and that means a lot to me. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Eric Neander, for the hospitality there. So yeah, Sunday was unfortunate. Saturday was good. I think it would be more apropos to say Zack Littell competed on Saturday versus Tyler Alexander on Sunday as the Rays win 7-2. And it was the game where Kevin Cash brought out the bullpen to close out the W in addition to Zack Littell. And it was the Yandy and Randy show as they contributed 6 RBI combined at the top of the order, batting first and second.
It was what you want this lineup to be. Just it's got to be headlined by Yandy and Randy, and that's what Saturday was. But I got to tell you, man, Zack Littell, he just keeps impressing. That's competing. That's competing because he's going through a lineup that has been turning it around for this whole 2024 seasons from what they had last year. And obviously that helps when you have Juan Soto in the lineup now. But Zack Littell, he keeps impressing. And I know that we have the Shane Bosses and Ryan Pepios coming back from injury. and Jeffrey Springs a little bit later on, and maybe Drew Rasmussen later on if he's still
Yeah.
a starter. Zack Littell, I know it's an easy name to be like, oh, you can just take him out of the rotation, but I mean, if you look what he's been doing in the rotation, like, do you want to take him out?
Yeah, it's good to have some insurance there for sure. And what he's doing this season with a 3.02 ERA and what he did last season, that does make me wonder though. Look, you can never have enough pitching, but all the guys you mentioned, if they're back in the rotation and back in operation, what do you do with a Zack Littell? Do you try to sell high on him? Hey, you built him up to this point. Maybe you can get some value of whatever your needs are at the trade deadline and maybe in the off season. That's where
Yeah.
you cut bait, so to speak.
Could be a sell high situation. Maybe that's probably what they could have done with Harold Ramirez and sell high there. But again, I'm sure they had phone calls, and I'm sure that they said this is not enough for what we want.
Yeah.
And that's why he's still with the Rays. But with Littell, that's a tough decision, man, because like these other guys are coming from injury. You should probably have a backup, and what better backup than what Zack Littell has shown you
Right.
that he can do. He went 5 2/3, allowed only 2 runs, 3 Ks. That's competing.
Yeah. And I think he used all of his offerings from the slider, the four
Mhm.
seam, the split, the sinker, the sweep. He really had it working, as did the offense, like the aforementioned Yandy and Randy. And what I like about that is they took advantage of mistakes middle of the plate.
Yeah.
That was big for them. I think hopefully it continues the rest of this month. I mean, I think Yandy really had a strong series throughout, but him going 3 for 4 with 2 RBI, and then Randy going 2 for 3 with 4 RBI in a walk as well, still has that batting average at 154, but I believe he will continue to elevate that going forward. And then we also saw some really, really good glove work from the Rays in this game, from Ahmed Rosario to Isaac
Yeah.
Paredes.
Yeah. The Ahmed play was really cool. Look, I think the depth is there for this team, especially the middle infield. You know, you got
Yeah.
a lot of question marks on how the roster is going to shake up with Jonathan Aranda.
Look,
When he
I don't even want to have a conversation about Jonathan Aranda because I kind of like what Rosario's doing, and I really like what Palacios is doing at second base because he made plays over the course of the weekend.
Well, baseball season is officially underway, so don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your price picks entries, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs. Take your pick of more or less and then add them to your price picks entry today. And guess what? The NBA playoffs are heating up. Maybe you're a Cavs guy. Maybe you're an Indiana Pacers like your boy Kevin Weiss, and you're very happy that this is happening this year. Well, guess what? Get in the game, get some fun, throw some green Skittles, as we like to say here at Locked On Rays. So today, download the app and use code Locked On MLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the app today. Use code Locked On MLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, download Price Picks today. Yeah, and he's just a guy at the box where I like him at the box. The numbers are not 1,000%, you know, but I like his attitude at the box. Like that's just how baseball operates. Like you like a guy when he comes up to plate, you know, the Richie Palacios is that. Now, Ahmed Rosario, it's really funny because coming into yesterday's game, he was hitting 299, but his on base is 315. The dude is literally like
That's
not
like a
taking,
Harold Ramirez line right there.
yeah, not taking any walks whatsoever, you know, with his 315 on base, but he's making it work. But you're right, the play that he did on Saturday's game, that was pretty nifty.
Yeah. And give credit where credit's due. We mentioned what Jose Siri did on Sunday, but he was also on base on Saturday for the Randy home run, drawing a walk of all things. He doesn't chase a four-seam fastball that's slightly low and a bit outside to get on base, and then Yandy doubles, and then Randy slams.
You need that. You need Siri to get it going. Like you don't want Siri to just be completely displaced because
Yeah.
then that would make that third, fourth outfielder so much strong. If Johnny DeLuca is doing his thing, which he kept doing his thing on Sunday, and Siri as well, if you can have a really good competition between those two guys, then you make the team even better. Like, we want Siri to succeed, and if he does, then that's just going to make that depth even better, because we've seen what he can do. I mean, that a guy that at the bottom of the lineup can give you 25 bombs and doesn't shy away from the lights, and is able to do a grand slam against the Yankees.
Right.
Like, that's a guy you want to see succeed.
Yeah, you just hope it becomes a little bit more frequent and he doesn't have these extended slumperoos,
Yes.
if you will. So it'll be fun to watch the Siri and DeLuca battle going forward. I'm telling you, the Rays, everybody loves what DeLuca brings forth as a competitor and a guy who follows the fundamentals and does everything the right way. Speaking of that, Friday's game, while it was a loss and the Rays were shut out 2-0, I was encouraged. And why was I encouraged? Because Taj Bradley looked like an all-star. He was amazing. Heck, based on what he did Friday, if it was a matter of would you keep Pepio in the lineup or Taj Bradley in the lineup, I would lean towards Taj Bradley based on what he was putting forth with everything, really. I mean, the four-seamer at the top of the zone, the curveball, the 12-6 curveball that starts middle of the plate, then drops below the zone, the splitter that has some great tail to it. Everything seemingly was working for Taj Bradley. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. We can deal with that with that line against the Yankees, no less. I feel like entering this series, and we talked about it, that it was a bad matchup for Taj Bradley just because of the firepower that the Yankees offense provide. And that was the bugaboo for Taj Bradley. He got hit hard last season, gave up a lot of homers. And what did the Yankees do? They hit a lot of homers, as we learned and saw over the course of this weekend. So that was a great growing and learning moment from him. And I'm really ecstatic to see if he can continue to keep it up, because his stuff was unhittable throughout the course of that outing.
No, he looked phenomenal. He really did. And again, we got to remember, he's incredibly young. There's a lot of growth to be had, but to come out for your season debut, because you know that he was amped up. I'm going to be on the opening day roster. Boom, he gets injured. Can't do it. Sees the team struggling. He wants to help. Has to go down to AAA. He carves up AAA like like we said last week, 40% strikeout rate. Like, it was just nothing for him. He does all that, and then now he has to make his season debut against the Yankees. It's a big, tough spot, and he comes through. Honestly, if Anthony Rizzo is not in that lineup that day, we might still be playing Friday night's game.
Right.
Because, well, the offense was asleep that day. But he might have not gotten that L if Anthony Rizzo is not playing. He was fantastic. And talk about that rotation, man. It might not be a question of Littell. It might be a question of, is Savale the guy that you take off the rotation when Pepio comes back? I know that's not going to happen because of pedigree and all that, and it's probably going to be Tyler Alexander. But when another guy comes in, Shane Baz, Jeffrey Springs, I would keep the Taj, and I would keep the Pepio, and I would keep Littell, and maybe Savale is the guy that gets the boot to the bullpen.
Definitely Alexander. I mean, Alexander, you're talking Jalen Beeks role, if that, going forward for him. So couple things, notes I want to make here. The attendance, I whiffed on that. I thought there'd be close to 70,000 over the course of the weekend. There was 18,041, 21,308, 20,694, something like that. So I was well underneath my initial prediction and projection. With that, Ulises, you were at the game on Sunday. Do you have a general idea of the breakdown of Yankees to Rays fans? Was it, in your eyes, 60-40, 70-30, 55-45? What was the crowd like in terms of obnoxious New Yorkers versus cool, calm, collected, interesting Rays fans.
I think it was a slight edge of 55 to 45 Rays fans,
Okay, I'll
but I
take it.
mean they're just obnoxiously loud. So it just seems like there's more of them in the
Yeah.
stadium. It's just it's what can we do? Like as race fandom. I know Rich Hollenberg and I know somebody else said this. They're
Hand
like,
cowbells to every fan that entered, every Rays fan. Anybody that has a Rays paraphernalia on, you give them a cowbell. Then again, you could have some Yankees fan that has his Rays jersey on, then takes it off as he enters the ball game, something like that. But some type of groundswell is needed for sure. I'll tell you what, I have an idea. So I went to a minor league baseball game. That's like been my thing this year, is going to more minor league ball games. For
mhm,
Mother's Day, I drove down to Cape Coral, went to see the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles, the single A affiliate of the Minnesota Twins. They were previously the Fort Myers Miracle, and they rebranded, and they have a cool logo and some cool jerseys and t-shirts. They've got a shirt in their gift shop that says "Got Muscles," MUSSELS, in that "Got Milk" font from years ago. But there, I think, look, every minor league promotion, I get it. It's a little, you can't do it at the major leagues all the time. It's a little bush league, but they have what's called a beer batter. So before the game, they announce, okay, the number 8 hitter on the opposing team, that is the beer batter. So anytime that batter strikes out, you get to go to the nearest bar or designated bar and get beer, like an 8-ounce cup of draft beer, for $2. So maybe that's how you really round up some excitement of, hey, in this game, Anthony Rizzo's the beer batter. If he strikes out, start cheering because you're going to get some discounted beers.
I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, they
Yeah.
would never go for it, I think, but
I mean, I'm not saying it has to be $2, but mark it down to
$5
a $5 six
Bud
ounce
Light.
draft of beer or something like that. And it only lasts, my understanding is, for 15 minutes. So after that batter strikes out, or
Ooh,
when that batter strikes out, you've got, a time clock to go and get your discounted beer.
it's fun. I like.
Yeah.
I look. You're just making
Do it on a
this.
Tuesday night. I'm saying you need to throw out some of these things on the attendance lacking days.
It's stadium fun. I mean, it's entertainment. I agree. I think
And
that's
maybe
pretty
it
cool.
gets into the head of the opposing batter of, oh my gosh, I'm the beer batter. If I strike out, it could be a problem here. I
Yeah,
really can't strike out in this situation.
I can see that. I can see that being called bush league, but I think it's fun. I think it's
Yeah.
fun. I'm glad you had some good time in minor league games. But no, like I was saying, we have to do something. Can there something be done for this Yankee thing that we have to survive through when they come down here? Because I know Rich Hollenberg, and I remember somebody else saying something like, "You can't boo. You shouldn't boo when the Yankees do something good, because then it just means like you're booing the Rays."
Right.
You're booing Rays players. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but then what do we do, man?
Yeah.
What do we do? Like, we can't just like, we just let them go. Let's go Yankees.
Yeah.
Like dude, no, I'm sick of it. We
I guess
got
you have to have the stadium noise operator guy just pump up the volume, drown out the Yankees chants. I don't know.
do something. Rays marketing team, work with us on this. What do we do?
Yeah.
Because it's tiring. It's tiring to hear them, and we got to do something as a Rays fandom. What can we do? If booing is not an option, what should we do?
Who's worse at the Trop? Yankees fans or Red Sox fans?
Oh, Yankees fans,
Yankees fans.
100%. I
All right.
think I think there are way more Yankees casuals that go to the Trop
A lot of
than Red
LeBron
Sox.
James Yankees fans. Yeah.
There's a lot of like, oh, my favorite team is the Lakers, and my
Yeah.
favorite football team is the Cowboys, and I love the Yankees. Oh, okay, I know who
Okay, so
you
you're
are.
just rooting for front runners, basically. You
Oh,
have
and my
no
favorite hockey team.
identification with the particular area or zip code. You're just rooting for the winners. I'm a Manchester United fan. I don't even know if they're still good, but
And my favorite hockey team is the Bolts, and I've been here the whole time. My
yes.
whole 35 years of my life, I've been here in Tampa Bay. Oh,
Aren't you rooting for the Islanders? You know?
my goodness, that's you must be fun parties.
Yeah. So there it is. Maybe if somebody has it in the comments, has an idea or a suggestion for how we can drown out the Yankees dribble,
Yes.
let us know. We'll have
Yes.
to think of something there. So,
Cool.
all right. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.